Praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High. Today we're going to start off in Article 12. At Article 12. This is, I think, the third session. We're going to start off Article 12. And first we're going to try to reassure you that this is God's will. Because I know a lot of Israelite camps are teaching. They are teaching that it's not God's will to come out of America. We are going to be enslaved to them under their jurisdiction totally until the Most High until Christ comes back and catch us up in those chariots. And then, but no, what God's intention is that we come out of America, not leave the geographical location, but do keep none of their customs, keep none of their culture, come out from under their jurisdiction. And I'm going to prove that with scriptures before we get into the articles. Hopefully it won't be long. We won't take too much of your time today because I know we have very short attention spans because we have so much to do in our lives. We don't want to waste time being entertained. But I'm not trying to entertain you now. What I'm trying to do is get all of the Israelites in the mindset to leave America and her scraps that she throw us to keep us hovering, to looking to her for deliverance, right? And when we stay hovered under them, it's just like being like the sharecroppers suffered, getting their land taken, and then when they were freed, so-called freed, they had nowhere to go because you got their land. Where can we go? They have our stuff. So they keep us hovering over their trash cans and working their meaningless jobs so they can keep an eye on us. Right? Right? All right, so we're going to prove today, hopefully with scriptures, get started, that's not what the Most High wants for us. He wants us to come out and gather, not be afraid. He never would have told us to come and gather if he meant for us to be knowing that they were going to do everything in their power to stop us from uniting together. They've expressed it so many times. The worst thing could happen to them is that we come back and unite together and realize our sovereignty and demand them to keep these articles. They don't have to go sit down in a council and figure out what they stole from you and how much they should give back and how to keep control of you. That's what they're trying to figure out, how to control you, figure out how patient will you be with them, and just giving you scraps, and not doing what the Most High set in order through these declarations of the rights of our godly rights. He declared to the United Nations what our godly rights should be, and they wrote it down, and they wrote down what they owe us, and they wrote down how to fix it. But then they attributed it to another people who they set up to be us. They just kept playing games with the Most High. So we're going to read, that's not the Most High's will for us. So we're going to read he's going to show that he's not tolerating them anymore. We'll read scriptures where in these last days he's going to come to a point where they have reached their most wicked end and he's not going to tolerate them anymore. But first I'm going to read to you what the article is, how they should what they should restore us to. We're going to read a couple of these, and then we're going to go over the scriptures that prove that what we're doing here, showing you the true law of the land and the expectations that God expects us to how to resist them and what we should tell them and how we should resist them with these same laws that God had them write down. Okay, so we're going to go over a few articles here. Start at Article 12. 12 and 1. Indigenous people have the right to manifest practice, develop, and teach their spiritual and religious tradition, customs, and ceremonies, the right to maintain, protect, and have access in privacy to their religion and culture sites. Our religion and culture sites. Meaning, if they are occupying those sites, then they have to move. They have to move because we got the right to gain all this back. They're talking about what us gaining back. They got us in ghettos, in projects. They got us stacked on top of each other. So when we come to our senses and come back as a people, this is what they're saying we have a right to expect, and what they must do as people who occupy and who are over here on illegally. Everybody in this land that wasn't here before Columbus and the colonizers got here are here illegal. Everybody. Did you hear what I said? Everybody's here illegal that wasn't here. That includes the mulatto races that call themselves white. Right? Okay. Let's see, where did we go? Where did we stop at? The right to use and control their ceremonial objects, and the right to the repatriation of their human remains. Let's see. Let's stop there for a second. Repatriation. Repatriation, the act or process of restoring or returning someone or something to the country of origins. Allegiance or citizenship, the act of reparation or the state of being repatriated. So yeah, now returning their human remains. Okay, Article 12, Clause 2. State shall seek to enable the access and or repatriation of ceremonial objects, human remains in their possession through fair, transparent and effective mechanisms developed in conjunction with religious peoples concerned. Okay, so you understand what that means? Let's see. Okay, we ain't too far gone here. Okay, yeah. So they got to return everything. They went and dug up our graves, put us in museums, artifacts, all of our history and culture is in those artifacts. They got them in museums. They got them in basements of museums. They got them, shipped them overseas. They got our gold. They got everything. So they're supposed to return that. We ain't worried about that because all of that's going to be disintegrated when those nukes hit. All right. But we're just showing you how the Most High provided for us uh, the information and how to gather together, like Hosea saw it. To gather together means that this is what they are responsible for doing. They're not going to do it. This is what we are indicting them for not doing. And if they want us to be at ease with them, then they must follow this example here. They must follow these laws here. In Article 13, 1. Indigenous people have the right to realize, to revitalize, use, develop, and transmit to future generations, right? To future generations, their history, language, oral traditions, philosophies, writing systems, literature, and to designate and retain their own names for communities, places, and persons. So when they say we woke, they're saying they don't want to do this right here. We don't have the right to none of this. We're gonna go in, we're gonna erase their history. Donald Trump is breaking international law right now. Right? We have a right to pass our history on to our children, regardless of who else is uncomfortable. We're not here to make you uncomfortable. We're here to set boundaries and to help our children to be better prepared for the future if they got to deal with you. We're trying to come away from y'all. We don't teach your kids what you want to teach them, but we gonna teach our kids their true history, and that's our God-given right. God told us to do that. He told us to reflect on the past. Okay, Clause 2 in Article 13 states shall take effective measures to ensure that this right is protected, and also to ensure that indigenous people can understand and be understood in political, legal, and administrative proceedings. Right? They tell us, do we understand them when you go to their courts and everything? You understand? Do you understand? Hell no, we don't understand. Do you understand us? Where necessary, though the provisions and interpretations are by other appropriate means, right? So they got to interpret what we mean. They got to figure out, like they do everybody else, they got an interpreter. They want to know what you're saying. They try to tell us, speak good English. You look at this the way they talking. Don't pay them no attention. They can't even speak good English. When everybody else, they try to interpret what you mean. They want to know what you mean. They know what we mean. They don't want to know. Because that means they got to restore us. Let's do 14, and then we're going to go on and read these scriptures. Article 14, Clause 1. Indigenous people have the right to establish and control their education system and institutions providing educations in their language in the manner appropriate to their cultural methods and teaching and learning. Right? What did they do? They provided all their false education. They just kept telling you, we own you. We brought you over here. We brought you over here. We came over here and brought you over here. You were slaves. These are the people who was here. These Siberian, Chinese, Mexican, uh, Moab, and Africans mixed together. They were the people here when all the explorers and people came before Columbus, and all the people that was here wrote to say who was really here, who they met when they came here. All right. So their education has been wrong, right? Wisdom of Solomon 2. And I think it's 10, 9, 10, 11, 12. Read down through there. They made laws and they educated us to be slaves, educated slaves. Indigenous individuals, particularly children, have the right to all level and forms of education of the state without discrimination. We don't want your education, but if we did want to go to the schools you have set up on our land with our resources, our building materials, we built those places out of our resources. We can go. We don't want to go. States they want to tear everything down before they let us come in there and teach our own curriculum. So why should we go to your schools? Send your own people to your schools and miseducate them so they'll be unprepared when they come to the real world, right? Our world. States shall in conjunction with indigenous people, take effective measures in order to indigenous individuals, in order for indigenous individuals, particularly children, including those living outside their communities, to have access, when possible, to an education in their own culture and provide their own language. So, see, they supposed to build our HBOs, what they call them, the black people colleges and stuff like that. We're supposed to have our own colleges and our own schools. You know, they got our tax money. They we worked 500 years for free. Now they supposed to provide this. This is the things they're gonna have to do, and we can hold them to. They said, no, we got to figure it out. No, we already got it right here. You're supposed to have this in your hearts. Everybody's supposed to have at least one article memorized. If it's just 40 articles, if everybody have article memorized, and then we can just speak this stuff out to them without reading it off a piece of paper. We know what they owe us, right? Let's read Article 15. Indigenous people have the right to the dignity and diversity of their culture, traditions, cultural traditions, histories, aspirations, which shall be appropriately reflected in education and public information. So what Donald Trump is doing is against international law, is against God's law, and he's gonna be judged. He think in death is gonna be all over. Wisdom of Solomon 2. They think in their death is gonna be all over, but they're gonna suffer more pain after death than they did dying, and in life. They're gonna suffer more pain after death, right? States shall take effective measures in consultation and cooperation with the indigenous people. Effective measure, consultation, finding out what do we need. That's why y'all got to know this. If they ain't gonna do it unless you tell them what they have to do, what they got to restore. All right, with the indigenous people concerns, to combat prejudice and eliminate discrimination, uh, and to promote tolerance, understanding, and good relationships among indigenous people and all other segments of society. They're not supposed to be policing us, shooting us in the back. They're supposed to. They already have the Constitution, which tells them peace and friendship treaty, and this it tells them what they shouldn't do to us, right? But we have to enforce it by having our own militia, our own governments, and when we catch their people breaking the treaty, then we're supposed to lock them up, and then their people have to negotiate with us to get them back. Most of them, they won't even come and negotiate. We'll just have them in our prisons, taking care of them until they die, because they're not gonna come and get these wicked police and stuff. They're not gonna negotiate and give us nothing, to get them police back, right? Or those school shooters and different stuff, church killers, people walk in your church and shoot you down. Let's read Article 16. The indigenous people have the right to establish their own media in their own language, and to access and have access to all forms of indigenous media without discrimination. So we can take our media and go sit wherever they are, where they are representing us, and report on it, right? And we can come back, write articles, media, videos, and everything showing what they are doing. It's not illegal for us to record them in all their wickedness and report on it. States shall take effective measures to ensure that state-owned media duly reflect indigenous cultures, diversity, states without prejudice, to ensure full freedom of expression should encourage uh, privately owned media to uh, adequately reflect indigenous culture. Okay, so we're going to stop there. Uh, I don't know if I should. Let's go to those scriptures. Nations, their inheritance. When the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam, he set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel. Verse 9. For the Lord's portion is his people. Jacob is the lot of his inheritance. People. Jacob is the lot of his inheritance. Deuteronomy 32, 8 and 9. 1 Kings 8:47. Yet if they shall bethink themselves in the land whether they were carried captive, and repent and make supplications unto thee in the land of them that carried them captive, saying, we have sinned and have done perversely, we have committed wickedness. At verse 48. And so return unto thee with all their heart and with all their soul in the land of their enemies, which led them away captive, and pray unto thee toward their land, which thou gavest unto their fathers, the city which thou hast chosen, and the house which I have built for thy name's sake. Verse 49. Then hear thou their prayer and their supplications in heaven, thy dwelling place, and maintain their cause, and forgive thy people that have sinned against thee in all their transgressions wherein they have transgressed against thee, and give them compassion before them who carried them captive, that they may have compassion on them. Okay, now that right there should tell you that when we come back to the Most High, bethink ourselves, come back to our ancestries, come into our proper persona, our proper persons, get rid of the names, right? Get rid of the names that they put on us, those bywords. We don't have to answer to those bywords anymore. We don't have to be astonished and feeble-minded and grovel for crumbs under their table while they feed us scraps, while they use our resources to build their people up. All of that is over with. When we come back together, I'm going to show you, when we come back together, right? When we come back together, then the Most High said he's going to bless us. When we repent, come back to our covenant with the Most High, he's going to bless us, and they are going to bless us, because they are going to see that he's fighting with us again. Let's keep listening. Verse 51. For they be thy people and thine inheritance, which thou broughtest forth out of Egypt from the midst of the fiery furnace, that thine eyes may be open unto the supplications of thy servant and unto the supplications of thy people. Let's stop there and read that again. From the midst of the iron furnace, okay? Israel, to hearken unto them in all they call for thee. For thou didst separate them from among all the people of the earth to be thine inheritance, as thou speakest by the hand of Moses thy servant, when thou broughtest our fathers out of Egypt. Now let's read that 52nd verse again. I interrupted. That thine eyes may be open unto the supplication, the prayers, the needs of thy servants. When we come out, he's going to be. That's what this thing is about. That's what reading our rights is. This is what God says our rights are, and he's going to give us the supplications. He's going to be open, listening for us to Ask for these things. Ask. You have not because you ask not. So our supplication is asking God for what seems impossible. But I'm going to show you in this last scripture that we read in Hosea that it's going to happen. This Bible prophecy got to happen. We got to start speaking those things that which are not as though they were. Open unto the supplications of thy servant and unto the supplication of thy people. In other words, Solomon is praying. He said, hear him. And then he said, unto the supplications of thy people. They need things. They're going to need things. They've been down for over 2,000 years serving the nations, slaves to the nations. He said, to hearken unto them in all that they call unto thee for. Okay? Let's keep listening. Now, it's God's will. He had Solomon to pray. He had him to write it down. So we'll know what we are able to ask him for. What to expect. What to expect, right? We'll know what to expect. What he'll do for us. Just ask. Just get in the right place and do what I ask you to do. Come back to your laws, commandments, your covenants, your ancestry, your culture, which is the law. He'll give you land in a new land. He'll give you space. He'll give you all the things you called and asked him for. Okay? Hosea 1 and 10. Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, Ye are not my people, there it shall be said unto them, Ye are the sons of the living God. Then shall the children of Judah and the children of Israel be gathered together and appoint themselves one head, and they shall come out of the land, for great shall be the day of Jezreel. All right. So, yeah, on. Behold, 15 and 1. Behold, speak thou in the ear of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. Fear not the imaginations against thee. Let not the incredulity, it means unbelieving. Let not the incredulity of them, the unbelieving of them, trouble thee that speak against thee, for all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, destruction. For the wicked has exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. Their hurtful works are fulfilled. Therefore, saith the Lord, I will hold my tongue no more, as touching their wickedness, for they which they profanely commit, neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exceed themselves. Behold, the innocent and the righteous blood cry out unto me, and the soul of the just complain continually. Therefore, saith the Lord, I will surely avenge them and receive unto me the innocent blood from among them. Behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt. I will bring them out with a mighty hand and stretch out my arm and smite and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and will destroy all the lands thereof. Sounds like he's about to destroy America. Okay, so that lets you know he said I will bring them out with a mighty hand and stretch out and a stretched out arm and smite Egypt with plague as before. As before. So that lets you know that this land is Egypt. Where he's delivering us from, he calls it Egypt, right? All right, all praises to the Most High. Let's see. Yeah. All praises to the Most High. I'll talk. Okay. I said I'll talk to you later, but I'm talking to you now. So I want to tell you that we are in Egypt. He's going to smite them. He said, I'm not holding my peace no more. He's speaking to them. They're scared to death, especially with this three-eyed jack or something. This comet. They say a comet looked like, and somebody said that, I think it was Sister Lisa Colbert, said that she said that God has turned and the tail and made it the forefront, forefront leaders. We are leading now. We are in leadership again, and that's exactly right. That comment, the comment that they see coming, they don't understand it. They do understand it. That's why they're scared out of their damn skins. That the comet, the tail is supposed to be trailing the eye, the lit eye. So, but now the tail is leading. The tail has been turned around to lead. It's leading, pointing toward the sun. The tail is leading in this comment, pointing toward the sun. Did you hear what I said? The tail of this comet coming is not in the rear anymore. It's leading and it's pointing toward the sun. The sun. You get it? The sun. Everything is pointing toward the sun. The sun is coming. Most High, the brightness of his coming. He's coming to set these people, to bring the plagues, to eat because they have shedded so much innocent blood. He's gathering up the innocent blood. He's receiving all the innocent blood from among them. Right? We the innocent blood. He's gathering us up away from them. So it's his will that we do our part down here on earth, man. So what I'm trying to do is show you why we should gather up and not fear them, because he's going to fight for us. And I'm showing you that he already had the laws in place. It was his will that we gather up and we resist them with what is godly, our godly right to exist on earth, because they made us think that God didn't give us a right to exist on earth. He just cursed us and set them in our place, right? So that's why we're showing you now, not thinking they're going to restore us. They're not going to restore us. The Bible, Deuteronomy 28 and 68 said, no man shall buy thee. They're not going to restore us. They're going to say, we don't owe you nothing, until we get to the place where they're going to say, you are the sons of the living God. That don't mean they're going to repent. What they're going to do is be so damn scared that God is about to destroy them, they're going to back up off of us, right? And we're going to get the chance to come out. Are they going to be happy? No, they're not going to be happy. We don't give a damn. We're going to set boundaries, set the bounds of the people according to the number of Israel. He set boundaries that they ain't going to be able to come through no more. Right? All praises to the Most High.